Hey everyone, Kojo here. Happy Fontaine release week. I'm sure you're all having fun diving into the waters and making friends with the fishes, but what I'd like to dive into is the gift that keeps on giving, Genius Invocation TCG updates. This time around we have our usual 3 new character cards, new action cards, and significant adjustments to the artifacts. Stick around to see how these changes could affect your deck building. Starting us off, we have the 3 new character cards, Qiqi, Lisa, and Albedo. The Chief Alchemist retains his playstyle like the main game, with being a low commitment Geo support who is also quite versatile. When using his skill, he will summon 1 Solar Isotoma. Solar Isotoma in the end phase deals 1 Geo damage and it has 3 usages. Also, when the summon is on field, characters' plunging attacks will cost 1 less unaligned dice. His burst is pretty straightforward, costing 3 dice and 2 energy, he'll deal 4 Geo damage, and if you have Solar Isotoma on the field, he will deal an additional 2 damage. Albedo's talent card Descent to Divinity immediately uses his skill Solar Isotoma once. As long as Albedo is alive, has his card equipped, and the Solar Isotoma is on field, all plunging attacks for your characters will do +1 damage. Overall, Albedo is a nice addition to the TCG, being the second character who can deal off-field Geo damage, and being pretty straightforward. It's also super nice that they utilize his ability to enhance plunging attacks in both his skill and talent card. Albedo is not the only monster who's going to be joining us this time we have everyone's lovely librarian Lisa. Unlike Albedo, she is quite complicated, so give me some time to explain. To best make use of Lisa's shocking potential, you'll want to understand how the conductive status works. Conductive is a status that can be applied via your charge attack or your skill. When applied to your opponent's active character, it will start with 2 stacks and has a maximum of 4. In the end phase, Conductive will also accumulate 1 more stack. This is all important because when Lisa uses her skill, Violet Arc, you'll remove this status and deal +1 damage for every single stack you have. Lisa's burst, costing 2 energy, will do 2 electro damage on cast and will summon 1 Lightning Rose. The Lightning Rose on the end phase will deal 2 electro damage and has 2 usages. Lisa keeps up the pressure with her talent card, Pulsating Witch. It'll cost you 1 electro dice and you do not need to spend any action to do so. It works like an equipment. After you switch to Lisa, attach Conductive to the opposing active character, once per round. This keeps in line with Lisa's playstyle to continuously add pressure by always attaching Conductive to your opponents. In summary, I think Lisa has a very interesting playstyle which actually ends up reflecting her abilities when you have her constellations in the main game. While she is a bit complicated and does feel a little bit slow needing to stack up Conductive, I think she has some potential in the future. Last but certainly not least, we have everyone's most feared thing to see on a 50-50, Qiqi. And now she'll be the thing you fear most to see in the TCG because Qiqi has quite the stacked kit. Qiqi's skill summons 1 Herald of Frost, which has 3 usages. In the end phase, Herald of Frost will deal 1 cryo damage. When this summon is on field, if Qiqi uses a normal attack, it'll heal your character that took the most damage for 1 HP. The burst, costing 3 dice and 3 energy, immediately deals 3 cryo damage and creates 1 status of the Fortune Preserving Talisman. Fortune Preserving Talisman has 3 usages, and after your character uses the skill, if that character does not have full HP, heal that character for 2. Qiqi's talent card, Rite of Resurrection, costs 5 dice and 3 energy. When playing this talent card, immediately use your burst. The burst will now revive all your fallen characters and heals them for 2 HP, and it has a limit to be used 2 times per match. As I'm sure you suspected, Qiqi has a perfect place at home when it comes to stall decks. The amount of healing she can do from her summon and her burst makes her not only a decent carry, but also makes it so that your team is never going to die. And if you want to add salt in the wound, just revive your whole team, why not? Characters are the only shiny new toys we got in this update, as we have 5 new action cards to take a look at. The first new card on the list is the King Squire, costing 3 white dice. As most weapons go, you'll deal +1 damage. When played, the character to which this is attached to will spend 2 less elemental dice the next time they use an elemental skill or equip a talent card. It is important to note that this effect will not trigger again after being used. The Golden House is a big boon to artifacts and weapons that are high cost, because you will be able to play 3-cost artifacts and weapons way more effectively. A new companion card, Setaria, will run you 1 white dice. After you perform any action, if you have 0 cards in your hand, draw 1 card, and she has a limit of 3 usages. This is a very useful companion card that is very comparable to the treasure-seeking Sealy. However, with Setaria, you will draw it every single time you do an action instead of having to wait 3 actions until you get your cards. Moving on, do you guys remember Master of Weaponry? Yeah, I don't either. This is Where is the Unseen Razor? This will cost you 1 elemental dice. When you play this card, you can return a weapon card who is currently equipped on a character to your hand. During this round, the next time you play a weapon card, you will spend 2 less elemental dice. You can use this card in a lot of strategic ways. Of course, being able to just re-equip a weapon on some other character, that's the easiest way. But you could also use it to play different weapons, and or just in general, return the weapon to your hand so you can use it for something else. Our newest Arcane Legend card, Joyous Celebration, brings a mechanic that we've been asking for quite a long time in the TCG. In order to use Joyous Celebration, one of your characters must be the following elemental type: Cryo, Hydro, Pyro, Electro, or Dendro. When using this, your active character's element will be applied to everyone else in your party. The ability to cleanse your characters opens up Pandora's box when it comes to defensive play. We've seen characters like Jincho and Barbara use their ability of Hydro Cleanse to stop reactions completely. And now you can cleanse with almost every single element, minus Anemo and Geo. Speaking of Anemo, if you're a 2 Anemo player, start quaking in your boots, because this card does a pretty good job at stopping 2 Anemo's game plan of always trying to apply 1 element to everyone so it continuously swirl. I would say this is one of the most interesting arcane cards that we have, and I'm looking forward to see how it's used in the future. Last part of the patch notes, we have, oh my goodness, so many action card changes, more specifically artifact changes, and we're just kind of gonna have to go rapid fire through all of these, so let's get to it. Artifacts that I will dub the 4-star rarity artifacts have their cost adjusted from 2 white dice to 2 black dice.
Hey guys, editor's note here. Coach is about to accidentally skip the 5-star artifacts and go straight to Shimenawa's and Vermillion. So I will quickly tell you the change. Their card cost has been adjusted from 3 black dice to 2 white dice. Alright, back to Koji now.
Vermillion, Hereafter, and Shimenawa's Reminiscence have had their dice cost adjusted from 3 white to 3 black. Ornate Kabuto has had his dice cost changed from 2 black to 2 white. The Emblem of Sever Fate has also similarly had his dice cost adjusted from 3 black to 2 white. All these artifact changes are really interesting as it makes using them a lot less punishing since they cost way less dice. I think it will take some time for people to get used to using artifacts again since nobody's really a fan of them, but hey, might see some interesting plays. Moving away from artifacts, here's our normal action card adjustments. Oh my goodness, they did it. The Jade Chamber now costs 0 dice. Does this change anything? No, it's probably still useless. The Regional Resonance card for Inazuma's Thunder and Eternity used to convert all your elemental dice to the type of your active character. Now, it converts all of your elemental dice to the Omni element. This is a really nice buff as it makes it so you don't need to stick to just one character when playing Inazuma style decks. And now, the moment you all been waiting for, I Haven't Lost Yet has been nerfed. I Haven't Lost Yet can now only trigger 1 time per round, meaning you can't 2-stack it. This makes it way less scary for players to go for aggressive plays, since there's no longer a threat of being absolutely reverse swept just because you decided to take that kill. Overall, these patch notes are really interesting since no characters were actually nerfed this time, even though some maybe deserve it. I could see some people arguing that Genius Invocation is heading towards a very slow meta when introducing cards like Qiqi and lowering the ability of I Haven't Lost Yet, as well as the new Arcane card which has the ability to cleanse. And while I would definitely agree that's true, there were also a lot of cards in this patch that significantly boost the power level of a lot of decks. New cards like the Unseen Razor and the Golden House make weapons and artifacts significantly easier to play. And I mean, chaining off the fact of artifacts, I mean, you just saw it all. There are so many dice reduced artifacts to the point where some of them are even 1 cost at this rate. It's nuts. I did kind of wish we got some character changes, but overall I'm pretty happy with this patch. I'm really glad to see them continuing to try push artifacts into the meta, as well as well-designed character kits. Well designed as in maybe Qiqi's a little too overpowered. Anyways, that's going to do it for this 4.0 patch notes videos. If you enjoyed, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. These things take a while to make. And if you have questions about the TCG or are looking for people to play with, you can come on down to our Discord server, discord.gg/GITCG. That's all for today, and we'll see you next time.